If you're an aspiring Forex trader, then there's a lot of things that you are probably struggling with. It's not easy becoming profitable, and after 6 years, as of right about now, I'm celebrating 6 years of trading, and to that, I think that's worth a bubbly. Let's jump into some tips for traders trying to become profitable. Let's go. Steven says, so I've been following the channel for quite some time and I have a lot of questions. How many pairs does one need to actually trade every day? Should it be different pairs or any sessions or streamlined pairs according to your session? So to answer your first part, the number of pairs that you trade is totally up to you. Here's the thing. Sometimes you're going to get these little mantras when you go through social media. You should only trade 1 pair. You should only trade 3. You should trade 20. It doesn't matter what other people tell you you should do when it comes to the number of assets that you trade. I'll give you my personal opinion. I actually disagree. I don't think that you should trade just one thing unless you are really comfortable in just one thing. Here's why. Let's say I trade gold and I like trading trending markets. If I have a trend following strategy and gold is not trending and it doesn't trend on the 4-hour chart, for example, for the next 3 or 4 weeks, that's going to be 3 or 4 weeks. Because I only trade one asset, I can't take any trades for 3 or 4 weeks. And for me personally, if I trade one asset and I can't trade for a month out of the year, that may have given me a lot of opportunities had I opened up to trading more assets. This is just my personal opinion though. So again, if you only trade one thing, you're only comfortable on one thing, and that just means you don't take trades for 4 weeks or whatever, then do you. But for me, I trade a basket of assets that I'm relatively comfortable with. For example, I trade a lot of USD crosses like Euro dollar, dollar yen, dollar CAD, dollar Swiss, and I'm comfortable across the dollar sphere, if you will. And that gives me a much larger pool of trading setups to look out for instead of having to wait for so long to ever get a trade setup that actually matches my criteria. So I trade several assets, but because I'm a swing trader, that gives me a nice variety of things to actually look for in my trading setups. Number 2 is many traders warn against joining signals groups, but hypocritically, these same traders offer signal groups themselves and also courses. Why do they do that? Is it because trading cannot sustain them full time, or is it because they feel their trades are actually efficient and so we have to pay even though we know strategies don't work 50% of the time? Okay, so great question. So I offer a trade alerts section and also am not a huge fan of the idea around copying signals. But there's a clear distinction between the two. If you're seeing somebody who is offering trade alerts, trade signals, whatever you'd like to call them, with no context, I don't believe that that benefits you as a trader following along. But if you're a newer trader and you're like, I really like the way this person trades, I've seen their track record, I know they're profitable. By the way, you can see my track record right here. It's not the holy grail, all be all end all amazing track record that's out there, but it's a real track record and it's actually showing some consistency over longer periods of time. I don't encourage, though, anybody to just copy me blindly, because then you won't understand what's going into the thought process behind the trades that I am taking. For example, if I have a good streak, I don't want people to overhype me and think that I'm this magical guru trader that never takes losses.
A god.
A god.
I take losses all the time. The problem is that's what new traders assume, is they assume someone on YouTube who's a good trader or has some experience trading, they assume that they win all the time and that by parking their money and following everything they do, they're going to make a lot of money. And that's not an impression that I want to give off. And I actually completely avoid trying to give that impression by encouraging people to make their own trading decisions and don't copy anybody blindly. Understand why trades are being taken, and if you can't get a full explanation with the trades being shared from a signal provider, I think that that's not really worth your time. That's just my personal opinion. I don't have anything against trade alerts, especially if someone shows a track record and they explain what they're doing so that people who are seeing those alerts are not just copying them, but getting information and educational value out of the trade alerts. I'm a fan of that. I've been trading Forex for 2.5 years now, slowly but surely making progress. When do you advise one should give up on Forex if he notices he or she isn't really progressing in terms of being profitable? Giving up. So here's the thing. That's a deep and heavy question. When should you give up on Forex? Well, I think you should give up right now.
Okay.
If you are looking to make profits quickly, suddenly, if you're looking for the next 2 months to change your life from Forex. I have made a good bit of money trading Forex, but the majority of it has been years into my journey where I have really harnessed into some of my strategies, gotten more comfortable trading, and most importantly, I've had a much larger account size in the last few years than when I first started. Account size is really, really important. If you're trading on $100 or $1,000, it's gonna be very hard to make a significant amount of money. If you're trading on $100,000 to $1 million, it's gonna be a lot easier on a couple percent gain here and there to make realistic, good amounts of money. And that's discouraging to new traders who don't have a lot of capital. So if you're looking for money in the short term, I would say don't trade. If you're looking for a great thing long term to make great money from, trading is for you. There's no rush to becoming profitable now. If you're 2.5 years in, some people take 3 years, some people take 4 years, 5 years,
10,000 years
to learn this craft, to find a strategy that really works for them. You're not looking for a holy grail system, you're looking for something that should be slow and steady, consistent over time. And that is the key distinguishing fact, I would say, from people who make money and people who don't make money. People who don't make money, they're chasing some system where they get like a 70% win rate and they think they're gonna get a 3-to-1 on a 70% win rate. It's so impossibly hard to find that sort of strategy. But what if you could find a strategy where you have, a 2-to-1 risk to reward and you have a 45% win rate? That would be like a really good system. It's not going to be magical overnight success, but over time you can compound and build an account into a good bit of size. Hi Nick, first can I extend my gratitude? One thing I've noticed from your channel and community posts is that your followers are incredibly nice and helpful to each other. There's a real sense of community and wanting to help each other. That's an awesome compliment, and I would actually really agree. We have such a beautiful community of traders here, and not just, sometimes you get a little bit more of a toxic crowd in the finance and trading world where people are fighting, but I feel like on my channel and on the A1 Trading channel, we've really attracted realistic traders who are here for the right reasons, and we've built a beautiful community. So thank you for saying that, and I would agree. Thank you guys for being so awesome. My question is strategies for trading indices in a bear market. What fundamental indicators are most important for trading indices apart from obvious things like CPI, PPI, earnings, and etc.? You also have things, so you mentioned earnings. You nailed most of the good ones, right? None of the big ones, right? Inflation, looking at earnings, looking at the Fed is a big one. The Fed really has a huge impact on what the stock market's doing, what the indices are doing, etc. And also, it's a lot of momentum. In my experience trading indices and stuff like that, is very, very momentum heavy. If the market is bearish and sentiment is negative, it's gonna be real hard to try and find buyers in there. But if you're in a buyer's market, if things are bullish, it's gonna be really dangerous to try and short it. So I am really trend following heavy when it comes to the US indices. For example, right now, we've been very, very bearish on the markets. Unfortunately, things have just been incredibly risk off, and that's something that we go with the flow until the flow ends, I guess. Trend is your friend until the end. That phrase really applies, in my opinion, to the US indices and worldwide indices, JPY or JPY, JP225, right? If you're trading with the Japanese stock market, the indices tend to move together regardless. You should do a video on liquidity, where it is and why it is important. It would definitely help a lot of people. So I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I've done some videos about smart money concepts. I've done some videos about like ICT and that sort of thing. I actually really like Michael. I like his channel. I've spoken with him a few times. He's a stand-up guy, and I really appreciate what he's doing. But for me personally, I don't focus a whole lot on liquidity. I've talked about it quite a bit in my videos. I understand generally how it works, how it functions. I just personally don't spend a lot of time focusing on liquidity grabs, retail traders, etc. I focus a lot on fundamentals, on general sentiment analysis, looking at the commitment of traders data, looking at etc. Right? I'm looking at other factors that for me I'm more comfortable with, rather than focusing very heavily on the technicals and smart money concepts and that sort of thing. I understand it. I understand that the smart money traders are very passionate about what they do. But we've talked about it a little bit on the channel in the past. It definitely ruffled some feathers when I mentioned that that's not something that I really pay attention to, don't really think I need to, and honestly, in my back testing of that sort of thing, have not found it to be some holy grail system either. And I don't think that, just personal adage, I don't think that like ICT and the people that are actually pioneering that sort of stuff, I don't think that they actually claim that it is the holy grail system. In fact, I know for a fact, I've spoken with Michael, neither of us think that one system is ultimate and every other system is stupid. There are many paths to success in this business, and one is not the holy grail, way better than the rest idea. Anyways, that's enough on smart money concepts. We've done some of that in the past. And again, the smart money crowd is like some of the most easily upsettable. So I'm not trying to jump into all that today.
What have you done?
Muck Bash says, been trading from 2018. And I can tell you all that there ain't any trading channel on YouTube like the one and only Trader Nick's channel. Although it can ramble on sometimes. True.
Yes, get on with it!
But he's genuinely straight up real and to the point. So thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. Means a lot. Appreciate you. Okay, so good question here. My question is as follows. How can one keep faith in the promise of making it in the market even when you don't see real results, but you're putting in a lot of time and effort in the charts? So I think that here's the thing. Here's one of the things that got me to profitability in the market. A couple thoughts kept going through my head. Number one, there are other people who are out there who are consistently profitable. So you know it's possible. That is a reassuring thought process for me when I was becoming profitable. I know other people are doing it, so I know I can do it too. But number two is I genuinely love and obsess over and I'm fascinated with the actual way markets work. What markets are doing, what the S&P is doing, why, what the Federal Reserve is doing and why that's impacting things, and the energy crisis in Europe. Like all that stuff it's a passion for me. And it was a passion for me before I ever started making money. If you can't be passionate about this stuff and interested in this stuff before you start becoming profitable, you probably won't ever make it. If it's just about the money for you, you won't make it in this game. Because people who focus exclusively on the money, they miss the point. The passion for markets is what gets you to becoming profitable, not the other way around. Money doesn't make you passionate. Passionate makes you money. That was kind of deep. No, but it really is. That's the truth in my opinion. Is for me, what got me to becoming profitable was not. It wasn't, oh, I want to make money from this. It was, I love this stuff. It's interesting to me. Winston says, hey Nick, what are some signs that indicate you're becoming a profitable trader? Despite the obvious of you're making money. Money. I think this is actually a good question and something I can clarify a little bit. How do you know you're becoming profitable? Distinguishing facts between what people think, I'm speaking from anecdotally my opinion, my experience. When I was new, I thought profitable meant you're the kind of guy who's sitting at the charts, you can read the charts like a crystal ball and you know what's gonna happen next. I was so wrong about that. And some of you guys might be like weirded out to hear that. But here's the thing. A lot of times you as a new trader, it's very easy to think like, oh, a pro trader, like somebody who's super experienced at this, profitable, consistently profitable, you think that they're sitting there making big money. They know where the markets are going. They have some forward knowledge that none of the rest of us do, right? That's like the thought process. It's not the truth. The truth is when you become consistent, and I've reached that, I've been to the other side. I've finally gotten there after all these, the years of blood, sweat, and tears. It took me about 2.5 years to really start actually making some consistent money. The secret, and I want you to get this into your head for a second. The secret of becoming consistently profitable is that consistently profitable does not mean making 50% per month and being a genius and calling every shot on the market. You don't have to be a superhero to be consistently profitable. You have to be steady. It's like a slow and steady grind up. That's what consistently profitable looks like. How do you do that? You risk small. You find a strategy through hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of back testing. A lot of back testing, a lot of studying, a lot of charting, a lot of studying indicators, studying price action, studying fundamentals, studying sentiment. That's what got me there. It was just pure, utter grind is what got me to becoming profitable. And then when I realized what profitability means, it means not making huge percentage per month. It means going for small, consistent gains, whatever that means to you. For me, I try and shoot average month over month. And people don't like when I say this. They always say, Nick, you can go for more, but I don't care what other people say. This is what works for me. Consistently profitable means 1 to 2 to 3% on average gains per month. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but let's do some math here up on the screen. If you have someday, you work your life and you get up to a point where you have $1 million to trade. This is the long-term vision. You have $1 million to trade and you make 2% per month. 2% of $1 million per month is a lot. 1 million times 0.02 is $20,000 per month, just on 2% alone. Of course, you can say, well, I don't have $1 million. Not now, but if you have a long-term vision in this stuff, maybe someday you will. And that is where real trading becomes really, really worthwhile. The long term, not today. Again, consistent profitable means small percentages, consistently keeping the ship afloat, keeping it moving in the positive direction, even if it's slowly over long periods of time. It's not exciting, it's not flashy, but that's why this industry is so hard to actually make it. People think they can make 50% a month or 30% a month and it's gonna be easy and then they're gonna be sitting on the beach with millions in their hand. It's just different than the reality. The reality is every profitable trader would agree with what I said earlier. Or not every profitable trader that I personally know and have worked with would say that if you can do 2 to 3%, 2 to 4% a month and do it for a very long period of time, you're gonna be sipping on some nice wine someday and looking back and being super happy that you did it. I don't know, that's cheesy. Anyways, let's keep going and take a look at some more questions. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.